The exterminator parks his pristine white truck in front of your house. He walks the perimeter, methodically spraying a chemical cocktail from the massive tank on his back. He steps inside, sprays along the baseboards, leaves a brightly colored paper tag on your doorknob, and drives away. That little visit just cost you an average of $800 a year, sometimes $1,000. But that is every single year, forever. As long as you own that home, because the ants will be back next month. The roaches will return in the spring. The fleas will hitch a ride on your dog. The spiders will reclaim the basement, and the silverfish will absolutely find their way back into your bathroom sink. And we just repeat that vicious cycle year after year, with the exact same pressure sprayer and the exact same money pit bill. We are currently facing an urban crisis in modern America, a silent pandemic happening right inside your walls. We have unintentionally created what biologists call superbugs. Think about the common German roach or bedbug. For decades, we have carpet bombed them with synthetic neurotoxins. We spray the carpets. We fog the bedrooms. We drench the kitchens. But it never achieves a 100% kill rate. It only kills 99%. That surviving 1% carries a genetic mutation, a slightly thicker shell, or an internal enzyme that actively metabolizes and neutralizes the poison. Those survivors breed. They pass that immunity down to the next generation. Fast forward to today, and we have bedbugs in major urban areas that can literally go swimming in standard store-bought chemical sprays without a scratch. We have German roaches that treat heavy-duty insecticides like Raid as nothing more than a minor inconvenience. They have evolved past the poison. The reality is, there is a soft, chalk-like white powder that you can buy at almost any garden center, hardware store, or online retailer for about $4 a bag. Just $4. It kills mutant, chemical-resistant ants. It kills super roaches. It kills fleas, bedbugs, silverfish, earwise, centipeds, and those weevils trying to invade your food preservation. It wipes out over 100 types of crawling insects, and it uses the exact same simple mechanism of destruction on every single one. This isn't a toxic chemical. It is an ancient, natural mineral that we dig straight up from the earth. It is called diatomaceous earth, or DE for short. To understand why this $4 dirt dust is the ultimate nightmare for big pest control, you have to understand what it actually is. Diatomaceous earth is formed from the fossilized remains of microscopic aquatic organisms called diatoms. Millions of years ago, these tiny algae lived in massive lakes and oceans, and their skeletons were made of natural silica. When they died, they sank to the bottom, fossilized, and formed massive chalky deposits in the earth. When we mine this mineral and mill it down, it becomes a powder as soft as flour. It is incredibly light, very dusty, and slips right through your fingers. It feels exactly like talcum powder. You can plunge your bare hand straight into the bag. No burning sensation. No toxic fumes. No chemical smell. To you, me, and your pets, it is just a harmless, extremely fine dust. But zoom in. Look at this soft powder under an electron microscope. From the perspective of an ant, a bedbug, or a roach. On a microscopic scale, those soft white particles are not soft at all. They are tiny, razor-sharp, jagged shards. To an insect, a dusting of diatomaceous earth is a terrifying field of broken glass, with no way out. That is the entire secret to its power. Every crawling insect on Earth survives because they have a specialized exoskeleton. The outermost layer of that armor is a waxy coating, or lipid layer. That wax acts as a moisture barrier, holding water inside the bug's body so it doesn't dry out and die. When a roach or a bedbug walks across a microscopic dusting of diatomaceous earth, those tiny, Sharp silica shards cling to its legs and abdomen. As the insect moves, the shards act like microscopic sandpaper, ruthlessly scratching and slicing through that protective wax layer. The moisture barrier is breached. The water inside the insect literally leaks out into the air. The bug dehydrates, shrivels up. And it is not poisoned. Its nervous system is not paralyzed by neurotoxins. It is simply scratched until it cannot hold its own water. The superbugs that are immune to the exterminator's expensive sprays will walk straight into this $4 powder and die exactly like their ancestors did. The laws of physics never compromise. Before we go any further, I need to give you an incredibly important warning. Screwing up this next part is the most common and dangerous mistake people make. There are two distinct types of diatomaceous earth sold in the US: food grade and pool. Filtration grade. They look almost identical. They cost about the same. But the difference between them is the difference between a safe house and an ER visit. Food-grade diatomaceous earth is the pure, natural, finely milled mineral, exactly as it comes out of the ground. Nothing is added. It is so safe that the US government allows it to be mixed directly into commercial grain silos to keep bugs out of the wheat we use for our bread. Your body, if you accidentally swallow a spoonful, will simply pass it. This is the only kind you are allowed to use for pest control. Period. Pool, filtration grade, often labeled as filter grade, is a completely different animal. To make pool grade, manufacturers take the raw mineral and superheat it in industrial kilns at massive temperatures. This process, called calcining, completely alters the molecular structure of the silica, turning it into crystalline silica, so it can effectively filter pool water. Crystalline silica is incredibly dangerous if inhaled. Breathing it in can cause permanent scarring of your lung tissue. On top of that, pool-grade DE often has highly toxic chemical water clarifiers added to it. Pool grade is not for your house. It is not for your garden. You must not bring it anywhere near your kitchen cabinets, pets, or your family. When you go to buy your bag of powder, whether at the local hardware store or online, look at the label. And absolutely do not buy it unless it clearly states, in bold print, 100% food grade. Now, we get to the hands-on part. Buying the right powder is only half the battle. How you apply it is the borderline between an impenetrable fortress and a total waste of time. The biggest mistake beginners make is dumping the powder in thick, heavy piles along the walls, thinking more powder equals more dead bugs. Not at all. Insects, especially roaches and bedbugs, are extremely sensitive to their environment. Their antennae are designed to detect obstacles. If they encounter a massive, white mountain of powder blocking their path, they won't walk through it. They will simply turn around, walk around it, or find a completely different route. You just built them a detour, not a trap. Instead, I want you to go to your bathroom or hit up a cheap drugstore and buy a large, fluffy, dry makeup brush. A powder or blush brush is a perfect choice. Dip the bristle tips of that makeup brush into your bag of food-grade DE. Tap the handle against the side of the bag to knock off the heavy excess powder. Now, take that brush and lightly dust it along your baseboards, right into the microscopic crack where the wood meets the floor. Sweep it into the dark corners of your kitchen food preservation. Lightly dust around the hinges of your lower cabinets, under the lip of the kitchen sink, and around the feet of your fridge and stove for your food preservation. If you are battling grain weevils or clothes moths, take everything out. Use the makeup brush to paint the corners of the shelves. But here is the real secret. Because this is food grade, you can take a small pinch of powder and drop it directly into your large storage bins of dry rice, flour, or beans. Give it a shake. It will lightly coat the grains, ensuring that not a single weevil can survive trying to invade your food supply. And when you cook that rice or bake with that flour, You do not even have to wash it off. For bedbugs, the makeup brush is your best friend. Strip the bed. Work the powder deep into the seams, folds, and piping of the mattress. Paint the joints of your wooden bed frame. Puff the dust inside your electrical outlets by removing the plastic faceplate and tapping a very small amount into the drywall gap inside the wall. This is where bedbugs hide during the day. Inside a drywall gap, untouched by humidity, that powder will remain completely lethal for 20 years. The Slurry Method. For gardens and exterior walls. Now, let's move outside. If you research diatomaceous earth online, you will quickly spot its biggest, most glaring weakness. Water. When DE gets wet, whether from morning dew, a rainstorm, or a mop, it becomes completely useless. Water causes the microscopic shards to clump together, dulling their razor-sharp edges. A wet bug can walk across wet DE all day and feel nothing. Because of this, most people give up on using it outdoors or on vertical walls, complaining that the wind will blow it away or the humidity will neutralize it. But there is an incredibly brilliant game changer of a workaround. It is called the Slurry Method. Instead of trying to sprinkle dry powder onto the leaves of your prized tomato plants or the vertical stucco outside your house, we will use water as a delivery system. Grab a standard 1-gallon hand pump pesticide sprayer. Fill it with water. Now, add 4 heaping tablespoons of Food-Grade Diatomaceous Earth to the water. Cap it and shake vigorously. You just created a liquid slurry. Pump up the pressure and spray this mixture directly onto the leaves of garden plants being decimated by aphids, spider mites, or beetles. Spray it onto the vertical foundation of your house, where the ants are marching. Spray it along the underside of your eaves. Before we wrap up, we have to talk straight about safety. We do not ignore warnings. Even with natural products. First, your lungs. I told you food-grade DE is non-toxic. And it is, but it is still a microscopic, fine particulate dust. Breathing in any fine dust, day after day, will severely irritate the mucous membranes in your nose and throat, and can cause lung irritation. When you apply this stuff, especially if you are dusting a large area, sweeping it under a bed, or mixing up a slurry, do the smart thing. Wear a standard N95 dust mask from the hardware store. Turn off your ceiling fans when you sprinkle the powder so it doesn't get kicked up into the air. Keep toddlers out of the room until the dust settles. Once it has settled onto the floor or baseboards, it is completely harmless. But nobody needs a face full of airborne dust. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the bees. Diatomaceous earth does not have the intelligence to distinguish between a destructive aphid and an essential, life-giving honeybee. If a bee lands on a flower coated in DE, it will die just as fast as a roach. So, when using the slurry method or dusting outdoors, never apply it to blooming flowers. Apply it only to the stems, les branches, leaves, and the soil at the base of the plant. You have a bag of soft white mineral, pulled straight from the earth. It costs $4. It uses a devastating, highly effective physical mechanism to wipe out over 100 types of crawling insects. It completely bypasses the genetic resistance of modern superbugs. It leaves absolutely zero toxic chemical residue in your kitchen. If applied correctly and kept dry, a single application can last for years. Go to an agricultural supply store, a local garden center, or get online. Buy a small bag of 100% food-grade diatomaceous earth. Grab a clean makeup brush. Mask up. Paint that invisible barrier along your baseboards, behind the stove, and around your food preservation. Mix up a liquid slurry spray for your yard. Don't panic if the bugs aren't dead immediately in the morning. This is a mechanical process, not a chemical bomb. Dehydration takes a few days to work, but over the next week, the ants will cross the line. The roaches will scout the kitchen. They will pick up those shards of glass. They will carry them back to their nests. and they will slowly, inevitably, wither away. If this deep dive into the hidden truths of home maintenance changed how you look at your living space, hit that subscribe button. We are only just scratching the surface of what Big Pest Control doesn't want you to know. Scroll down into the comments right now and let me know, which bug has cost you the most money and sanity over the years? Is it roaches, bedbugs, or ants? Once you have tested out the makeup brush trick or the slurry method, come back and update your comment with your results. The data we share with each other is the most powerful tool we have. Stay wise, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.